right, hello everybody. We're into May. I have been hard at work, working crazy hours. Anthony Stewart, food for thought. And what we're doing on this channel is we are questioning everything. And, anything they've ever said, we're going to ask. And we might not get the answers, but we'll definitely search for some truth behind all the noise. Now, this one, I wanted to talk today about a few people. First of all, welcome to the new subscribers. We're getting up there. We're almost at 30. What? Soon we'll have millions. Anyway, I've had a few conversations with people like over the last couple of weeks, and it's getting back to this how do we do this? How do we get healthy? How do we start? Everybody's so shocked, and I hate to say it. First and foremost, sorry, I'm not a doctor. I am not a scientist. But anecdotally, meaning N of one, my experience, my experiment on myself over the last 3 years has led me to this path of not only feeling amazingly great, resilient, and my body composition is probably the best shape of my life, bar none. And I've done things and come across things, and I've done extensive research studying to be a nutritionist, even though I disagree with a lot of it. And I think there's a lot of truth hidden in the lies. And first and foremost, what I wanted to talk about today is throwing in some logic to making a change. Now, where do we look for these changes? Where do we look to begin? First of all, we got to look to nature. I want you to know that, unfortunately, my personal opinion, my belief, since we were born, we've been programmed. Maybe not ultra intentionally, but we definitely have been programmed. And we're programming ourselves probably for the wrong things as we go. And it all ties into everything. If you wanna feel great, you need, I guess you could call this my triad: body, mind, and soul. And it all sort of ties in together, and it starts foundationally with what you're made of. Now, they say you are what you eat. And if we look at that a little bit more specifically, you are the protein that you consume. And if you've followed me at all on this channel, you'll know that I am very much carnivorous. I do eat plants from time to time, although I don't care. They mean nothing to me anymore. I find I thrive and feel best when I eat the flesh and the associated fat from specifically ruminant animals: beef, lamb, the red meat. So I have taken the approach to do everything exactly opposite of what they say. And I find I'm thriving for it, at least foundationally. I do consume plant juice in the form of coffee, which I will be cutting out, and we'll get into that in a later video. I'm going to do a challenge. I just bought a quarter cow from Mount Lehman Farms, local regenerative farmer, Andy Wolf. And I will be starting the lion diet. I will consume this quarter beef. I have a freezer full of beef, and I will just eat this beef. So what I will be doing is salt, beef, and water. I'm going to cut out the coffee. That's my choice. I'm going to see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated. Now, anyway, starting. Okay. So a lot of people I've been talking to lately, are making, not only do I want to help them come out of the break from the clouds and come into their own, but I want to establish some things first. We are victims of programming. And I want you to know it's not your fault, but they haven't been on our side. How we can tell this is look around you. If you look at pictures of our grandparents, and even prior to that, there's a lot of slenderness going on. People looked robust and healthy. Now, you have two extremes. And I challenge you to go out for a walk in the general public, and I'm sure there's a lot of very physically unfit, unwell people. And they're either one way, bordering obese, or the other way, sunken, plant-based, not full. And you can argue with me all you want, but you should never have sunken eyes. You shouldn't have black rings around your eyes. And if you do, there's some issues. Now, starting out down this journey, one thing I want you to realize is what is nutritious and what's convenient are two completely different things. If all the food we're eating right now was good for us, why is heart disease tripling? Why is obesity at a rampant rate where, 1 out of 3 people will be obese by the year 2030, apparently? Something like that. 1 out of 3 Americans have fatty liver disease-ish or are, overweight or obese. That's, these are just stuff I'm throwing out there. I don't want to get statistical and sciencey. This is completely anecdotal. This is my take on it. So we have a problem. And unfortunately, it might not be your fault. Now, you can take the idea that, when you get sick or some kind of non-communicable disease, i.e. cancer or, some metabolic dysfunction, an autoimmune condition, that you're genetically unlucky. I disagree. I completely 100% disagree. I believe our bodies want to be well. Your body wants to function properly. We're just getting in the way. And what I mean by that is you look at what fat is. What is it? Well, first and foremost, it's potential energy. Your body is either overloaded with energy or in some kind of state that thinks it needs to hold on to it for survival. Now, we're not going down the science road, but just think about it. Why would we be able to store body fat in the first place? We don't look to nature enough. We don't look at how animals behave. And when it's in a lab and we're testing mice and stuff, these are completely out of the natural environment. And a thing I've heard is, look at this. Aside from your pets, animals are designed to be specifically built the way nature designed them. Some animals hibernate. They put on fat for the winter. Some animals choose what they eat according to their environment and season and migration. But we are the only species on the planet that are overweight or obese and malnourished at the same time, or sick at the same time. So what's happened? How do we fix it? How do you start your new journey to being woken up to all this crap that's out there? First of all, you have to realize it's not your fault. Then you got to ask yourself, what am I doing to my body, and how do I fix it? And there's no magic pill. There's no supplement. What is a supplement? A supplement is something to supplement your nutrition or your body when you can't get it from your food or your lifestyle. What did we do before there was supplements? How did we get here as a species? Something had to have changed. Now, marketing, financial driven agendas, all leads to overconsumption, all leads to potential energy being stored. Kind of a little theory of mine is that the reason we hold body fat is because we are constantly in a state of hibernation, potential hibernation, where bodies think we're going into hibernation because all this energy is around us at all times and we overconsume it. So our natural circadian rhythms and our hormones are trying to protect us. This is a defense mechanism. Metabolic dysfunction is a defense mechanism. You're putting your body in danger and your body's trying to survive. So when you look at hormones, when you look at body fat, who cares about weight? We care about body composition. Muscle weighs more than fat, bones, dense bones weigh more. So when you're starting a dietary change for a reason, you have to consider the factors here. And weight loss means nothing if you're losing muscle mass or lean tissue. Weight loss is irrelevant. Losing body fat percentage and getting more muscularly dense and bone density are what you should be thriving for. How do we do that? I'm going to tell you a little secret. The gym helps, exercise helps. Doesn't matter. You are not giving your body the right things it needs to run optimally. What are the right things? Protein, the right amount of energy, vitamins, minerals. We have something called essential nutrients. What does essential mean? Essential means they are vital for human life, but we cannot make them internally. Endogenously is the word. Essential fatty acids, essential amino acids. These are things we need to consume in order for our body to assimilate and use. There's no essential carbohydrate. Not 1 gram ever. Your body makes just the amount of glucose it needs without feeding carbohydrates. That's an energy. An overabundance of carbohydrates is toxic to the body. Your body has 4 grams circulating of glucose plus the glycogen stored in your muscles and your liver. When that glycogen gets depleted, your body is quite capable of replenishing it with its own stuff. It's called gluconeogenesis. If that mechanism wasn't there, then there'd be an argument for essential carbohydrates, but they're not. We have essential fatty acids, omega-6, omega-3s, omega-6, omega-12, omega-9. Why are they fatty acids? That's interesting. From fat. We have fat-soluble vitamins. That's interesting. They're telling us to eat low-fat food, go on a diet, but yet fat-soluble vitamins are found abundantly in the fat of animals. Butter, saturated fat. That's stuff that they say is bad. Now, cholesterol is another thing. Cholesterol is vital for human life in all functions. Well, in lots of functions in the body. If cholesterol is vital, and our body makes 75 to 80% of it, the 20% that we get in our diet, how is it bad? Your body makes the most of it. So you need cholesterol for brain function, nerve function, to absorb vitamin D from the sun. You need cholesterol to gain muscle mass. Cholesterol is, there's 100 million things, and I've done a video on it. You guys can look at that. Anyway, so if we were metabolically capable of using glucose, and another a little aside here, every single carbohydrate that you consume, bread, Pasta, crackers, chips, potatoes, sweet potatoes, vegetables break down to glucose in your body. Fructose is a little bit of another demon, but we can talk about that later. Do I think fruit is bad? I don't think we need it. Fruit juice is bad. There's no fiber. Do we need fiber? Not necessarily, but when you're pounding back a whole bunch of sugar, you better have some fiber that is lowering the glycemic load. So we're talking in circles, and this is how I felt when I started my journey. So in order to understand that we need things in order to function optimally, stripping your body of these things causes your body to panic, causes your body to react, hold body fat, hormonal dysfunction, brain problems. A book by Ben Bickman out of Brigham Young University has a book called Why We Get Sick, and he ties every single thing you can think of wrong to insulin. Insulin is spiked when you eat carbohydrates. Over time, insulin stops working. When your pancreas is producing an abundance of insulin and your body does not want any more, things get crazy. Insulin puts energy in to cells. When insulin is putting energy into cells, how would you lose weight? Right? So, now fat. Fat-soluble vitamins, essential fatty acids. Fat is essential for human life. We need it. And that's not including the B vitamins that come from specifically red meat. You get all the B vitamins you need. That leads us to RDAs, recommended daily allowances. And what if I told you they're bullshit? There's a grain of truth in them, but that's context. A proper functioning human body is a lot different than someone who is feeding their body hyper palatable processed food and carbohydrates all day long. Their requirements are different. What vitamins you're using, what minerals you're using, how your gut can absorb it. So what do? I wrote down some notes. And first, sugar addiction is real. And like I said before, I'll prove it to you. Stop eating any carbohydrate. Period. Stop. Try. If you cannot, that's your brain on drugs. That's your brain telling you that you're panicking. If it wasn't true, people would not be able to fast. And there's a lot of proof out there that fasting is quite effective, but it takes time, and it's a tool, and it's a skill, and it's personal. There's no magic formula. Intermittent fasting, there's a whole bunch of definitions and whatever, time restricted feeding, prolonged fasting, monk fasting, OMAD. All this is irrelevant if you're not giving your body enough protein and the right energy. So how do we do it? Sugar addiction. Back to sugar addiction. If you think you're not sugar addicted, don't eat before noon. If you cannot wake up in the morning and go till noon without eating, odds are you probably have a sugar addiction. It's real. It's overlooked. It's underdiagnosed, if at all. And the way we look at this is stop eating it and see if you can. If you cannot, that's a sugar addiction. Our emotional attachment to food comes with it, and it's very deep. What if I told you there was a diet that sets you free from emotional eating, cravings? You eat as much as you want, when you want it, and you eat the food you love to eat. That's optimal. That can happen. It takes time. It takes work. How do you do it? Everybody's different that way. What do we all have in common? We all need essential vitamins minerals, amino acids, protein, and energy. How your body takes all that in is individual. But we all got here the same way. And we're all 99 point something genetically similar. So there is a way. And the way to do that without counting calories, without counting macros, eating your food till you're full, when it's there, when it's available, when you want, it's achievable. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. People tell me that I'm strong-willed. People tell me that but as you progress and understand and take control and get your hormones working for you, with you, in sync, all the other stuff gets so much easier. I don't want to go on a diet. I've chosen this way of eating because it works for me, and I'm seeing results every day. And when I go off my way, I feel it. If I have a piece of pizza, my arms, my joints, my elbows start aching. That didn't happen overnight. I didn't realize that this was an issue because I was so used to feeling like crap. And I thought that was the way you're supposed to feel, or I was just getting older, and it's unacceptable. Your body wants to be great. You just got to find a way to get there. And it starts with cutting out the junk. Anything that's made for you to consume in large amounts, profit driven, is not good for you. There may be nutrients on the package, but if your gut is not willing or not able to process that and absorb the nutrients, it doesn't really matter. Do I think well, let's look at another one thing. You can't be perfect. We've got a lot of things going on that we never had before. So you're never going to be perfect. But you can strive for it. And you can start this way. Start consuming animal food. Yes, plant-based, I believe, is not good for human beings. You need the protein and the fat from animals. Start eating them. Now, there is a problem. When you don't understand the mechanisms of how energy gets distributed through your body, this can lead to some damage. What is the epitome of hyper-palatable foods? Sugar and fat together. Donuts. French fries. Pizza. You almost, it sucks to say, but you have to make a stand and pick your team. If you're eating carbohydrates, yes, fat can be an issue. As you cut out the carbohydrates, fat becomes healthy if it's a good fat from animal sources. Butter, coconut oil if you have to. Olive oil is arguable. I mean, it's better. Cut out any seed oil, any vegetable oil, period, and start eating meat. Vegetables, sure. Because if your gut can handle it, that's fine. So how does this go? That falls into keto, that falls into intermittent fasting, that falls into carnivore, that falls into low carb, that falls into paleo. All that shit, all these labels are noise. You need to find your way, and how you do that is by understanding that you don't need certain things, certain foods, and you do need the right ones. If fat wasn't good for you, there wouldn't be fat-soluble vitamins. Nature. Essential fatty acids. Nature. So how do you do it? If you want to go 2 legs in, start eating beef, salt, and water. If you're scared, cut out carbohydrates. If that's too much, cut out sugar. Start out by that. All added sugar. Sugar sweetened beverages. Horrible. The worst thing you can do is drink sugar. We can get into the mechanisms and stuff, but there's no fiber to buffer the load. The glucose and the fructose go bam, right away. Stop worrying about weight. If you get healthy, you will lose weight naturally. If you stop over-consuming crap food and understand that you're going to have to, it hurts to heal a little bit. And there are so many things out there, oxalates, phytates, that block lectins. Gluten is a lectin. This was never around before. Why? Why is it now? Because I believe we have not been able to adapt or evolve to eating the GMO dwarf crap, corn, wheat, and soy, and celiac is a real thing. And that causes leaky gut, and leaky gut is real. How do you heal your gut? Meat stock. Start eating meat. Ease off on the fiber. That get your proteins, proper protein. That heals the tissue. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of allergies out there. What are allergies? Food sensitivities. Well, they're created. They're not real. Tell me one person that is allergic to red meat. Maybe doesn't like it or says that this happens when they eat it, something happens. But I'll tell you why. It's because of everything else. You're going to have to understand that these steps that you're going to have to take, it's a long process, and it's okay to not be perfect. But you have to start getting your nutrients first. Meat, fat. Eat vegetables if you need to. Don't eat the starchy ones if you can. A potato once in a while, but depending on how sugar addicted and how carb dependent your body is going to be the spectrum of how much you have to dial it back. When you start doing these things, your body will react, and it might cause a little discomfort. It might not be easy. But you trust me, in the long run, inflammation comes down. That is the root cause of almost every single condition out there. Chronic systemic inflammation caused by hyperpalatable processed foods, sugar, and vegetable oils. So whole food. I don't eat nuts. If you got to eat nuts for the short term, sure, we can go into the weeds about that stuff all. And another thing is your vitamins work in synergy. Your vitamin C requirements are very debatable. If you're eating sugar, that competes for absorption. You're going to need more vitamin C. Orange juice is kind of a moot point because the vitamin C, the ascorbic acid, and the sugar basically cancel out. The fructose in orange juice causes damage to your liver and could cause fatty liver almost as much as alcohol. And I said this, yes, almost as much as alcohol. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is very real, and it's starting to become a very big issue, and that's not caused by non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, caused by high fructose corn syrup, fructose, and carbohydrate abuse. Protect your liver. Protect your gut. In order to do that, you might have to do some healing. Fatty meat, dairy if you can handle it. Vegetables don't really matter in the short term. No starch, no sugar, no snacking. When you lose the carbs, when you cut down and scale back on the carbohydrates, you will stop snacking. Naturally. You will eat till you're full, and then you'll eat again when you're hungry. And you'll know when you're hungry because your body will be saying, I want food. I want to help people understand that you can't just take a pill or a drug and fix this. This is decades centuries of programming for you to consume more, consume cheaper shit, and a toxic environment that is not for you. We're never going to be perfect living in the modern world, and there's steps to go about it, and I want to help you do that. But understand it's going to be work, and it's going to take work until you feel great. And don't sweat the small things. You know, you're not going to be perfect right away. No big change happens overnight. Get there slowly. Make a 2-year plan, a 3-year plan. And I'll tell you a secret. It does not involve gym. It does not involve working out. If you're longing for a physical composition, your body composition, everything has to do with giving your body what it needs. And stop putting in useless, detrimental garbage food that's not even food. So if you need some help, if you want my opinion, I'm having some tough times right now trying to figure out how I'm going to make a living doing this, because I don't want to charge money for health. I don't want to be like them. Everything that I'm telling you is free. I mean, you're going to have to buy food, of course, but there's no magic thing. There's no need to spend millions of dollars on a weight loss program or on medication. The idea is to not be medicated at all. If you're on medication, you need to look at yourself, and you need to ask if you want to be medicated for the rest of your life. If not, start making changes. If you're sick and you don't want to be medicated for the rest of your life, relying on that, you're going to have to make some changes. If you're overweight, find out what you can do to get your body working for you. And it does not mean fat loss. It doesn't work. Calories in, calories out, move more, eat less does not work. That is not metabolically stable. Your body will battle back. And there's a lot of debate out there, but it's true. Your body will do what your body needs to do if you feed it the right things. And yes, exercise will help, but body composition does not mean gym. You don't have to spend hours and hours and hours in the gym. And you can eat food. You don't have to starve. You just got to eat the right things. And to find out what the right things are, I'm going to leave it at that because this is getting really long. We're going to do some more videos. Hopefully I have some time. And I just don't want you to lose hope, because you're not alone. Everybody out there has been programmed in one way, shape, or form. And I'll help you. Please leave a comment below. Please like, and if you haven't done, subscribe to the channel. And if you know anybody that these videos might help, all I want to do is just help people get away from what doesn't work and makes us sick. And maybe I can help you. Enjoy your day. And I'm going to be coming back with how I'm going to do this lion diet. All beef, all the time. That's right. Fat doesn't make you fat. Fact. All right, everybody, take care.